In this example, in example 1, we're going to graph a parabola. We want to rewrite the parabola in standard form, identify the vertex, and graph. If I look at the equation that I have right now, I have y squared minus 10y minus x plus 29 equal to 0. I need to figure out which type of parabola that I have. Here in this equation, my y is by itself and my x is squared. And in this equation, my x is by itself and my y is the one being squared. So if I take a look at my equation down here, I see that the y is being squared, which tells me that I have situation number 2. So I'm going to be getting a parabola with an x by itself on one of the sides. If I know that I need x by itself on one of the sides, I'm going to go ahead and take this x and I'm going to add it over to the other side. And I'll get y squared minus 10y plus 29 equal to x. And then I have to go through and I need to complete my square. So in order to complete my square with my parabola, I'm going to group together my y squared and my y, and I'm going to leave that 29 out of the parentheses. So I'm going to get y squared minus 10y plus some number, and then I'm going to do my plus 29, and then I need to add the opposite of that number on the outside, and that's going to be equal to x. So if I figure out what number needs to go in for my blank spot, I'm going to take this number here, I'm going to divide it by 2, and I'm going to square it. And that's what's going to go in there. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 squared gives me 25. So 25 is going to be the number that's going to go in my spot here. And if I added 25 here, I need to add nothing to this side. I need to add 0. So to make 0, 25 and negative 25 will be 0. So I'm going to add negative 25 on the same side to get a total of 0. Completing my square, I end up with y minus, and then I take the square root of this number. So y minus 5, that's being squared. And then 29 minus 25 will give me plus 4 equal to x. So now I have my parabola in standard form. Next thing I need to do is I need to identify the vertex. My vertex is going to be my ordered pair. And then if we scroll back up to the top, since we are using this problem right here, the x equals graph, my vertex is h comma k. Remember that my h in this case is the number on the outside, and my k is the number on the inside. So if we go back to our equation here, my h is coming from here, which is a 4, and my k is coming from in here, which is going to be a 5. So I get my vertex as 4, comma 5. The other thing I need is to graph it. So in order to graph it, I'm going to need to set up a table of values. So I'm going to make a chart. So I'll have my x and my y. I'm going to put my vertex in the middle. So I'm going to leave some room for a couple points above and then a couple points below my vertex. Putting my vertex for 5 right in the middle. And then since I have my equation with my x over here and my y over here, it's going to be easier to plug values in for y. So I'm going to pick my y values, a couple below 5 and a couple above 5. So we'll go ahead with 4 and 3 and 6 and 7 in the other direction. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take those numbers and plug them in here. So 3 minus 5, you'll square that, add 4. I'm going to give you a second to do that, and then you can check to see if yours are right or not. If you plug them in correctly, you should have gotten x values of 8, 5, 5, and 8. And those are going to be the ordered pairs that you're going to be graphing. So we can sketch a graph over here. We have our vertex at 4, 5. So that's right here. Then we have the point 8, 3. We have the point 5, 4. We have the point 4, 5, which we already did, the point 5, 6. So we'll need to add a little bit to our y. So 5, 6 up here, and then 8 and 7. This point should have been, this point right here is a little too high. It should be moved down a little bit. So let's do that real quick. And then this one's up here. And then we can draw in our parabola. It's going to be shaped as a curve facing the right. If you have any questions, let me know.